Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are all having a great day. Today I'm going to be doing my May plan with me in my bullet journal and also flipping through all of the spreads that I created in April. So I hope you guys enjoy and let's get started. So I'm going to start off by showing you all of my April spreads. If you guys are interested in seeing me create them, I will link my April plan with me video in the description box. So my April theme was very colorful and floral. I was going for a very springy type of look. So here is my cover page. I did this watercolor with a bunch of different colored flowers in pinks, blues, and oranges. And throughout the month, I mostly just focused on the pinks and blue, kind of like teal color. So here is my calendar page. As you can see, I use a lot of pink, and I also use this really cute pink washi tape throughout the entire thing. I printed out a bunch of different photos from Pinterest on some photo paper and used that throughout the month, and also incorporated these little floral doodles and a bunch of other little botanical designs. So I actually ended up not printing out enough photos for the entire month, so some of these last spreads I didn't use any photos, which is really different for me. So this one looks a little bit different from my normal spreads, and then also this page is one that I haven't used yet, and I ended up doing these little doodles on scrapbooking paper with a Fineliner, cutting them out and then gluing them into my journal. So that is all of my April spread. And now we are going to get on with planning for May. So I'm going to start off by doing my May cover page. I decided to use acrylic paint this time instead of my usual watercolors. So I took some red, yellow, and white paint and kind of just made this like really simple background. This barely took any time, and I just mixed together a bunch of different colors to get this like sunflowery type of look. And then I sketched out the sunflower design with a pencil first and then went over it with my Fineliner. So I'm using a combination of a 0.01 millimeter Fineliner and also a 0.05 just to get some variation in the widths. So I did the base design with the wider Fineliner, and then I did all of the little details in like the leaves and petals with the skinnier one, which I am using right now. So I did the basic sunflower design and then added a bunch of different leaves and like flowery botanical designs coming around it, and then around I put this circle with a dotted line. Then at the bottom of the page I just marked the center and wrote out May with a Fineliner and kind of made it look like it was calligraphy by widening some of the edges, and then with a white gel pen I added some little twinkly stars and glued that into my bullet journal. And let's move on to the May calendar. So I started by marking this out with a pencil so I didn't screw up any of the dimensions, and then I used a Fineliner and a ruler to draw it out. I'm doing a little bit more of a narrower calendar where the boxes are a little bit longer just to change things up. I'm using this sunflowery colored Tombow marker at the top and then writing the days of the week with some calligraphy. For all of the days of the month, I'm using this same Tombow marker and making a little circle in the top right hand corner where I'm going to write the days of the month. If you guys are interested in the markers that I'm using, I'll write their numbers in the description box. I'm using a total of 3 different sunflowery colored markers, I guess, and then I'm just using a Fineliner to write in all of the dates. When I am planning for a new month in my bullet journal, I like to print out a bunch of photos from Pinterest. So since I'm going for a sunflower yellowy theme, I printed out a bunch of photos of sunflowers, and I'm using this gold washi tape to tape that in. Here is my title for May. I'm just using the same colored marker to write out May and some calligraphy. And then I also added a drop shadow with a tan colored Tombow marker just to add a little bit more depth to it, and drop shadows always make everything look a lot better. Underneath the title, I am writing a section for events, which I mean, I'm not sure how much I'm going to be using this month, but I mean it's there, and also a section for a master to-do list for the month, and then I'm just putting a line underneath it to kind of section off those different areas. I added some stickers, and let's move on to the next page. So this one I started by sketching out these sunflowery flowers. They might look more like daisies, but who knows. I did one on the top left hand corner of the page and then also the bottom right hand corner. So I outlined this first with pencil, and then I'm using the same combination of Fineliners with a little bit of a thicker one and then a thinner one to do some of the more details. So I did all of the petals, and then for the inside part I have all of these little dots, which took a long time. I ended up taking an even thicker fine liner just to make the process go a little bit quicker, and then I outlined some of the parts in the middle and added some shadows on the petals, and those were all of the flowers. I'm really happy with how they turned out, and I think the setup of this page is really cool and a lot different from some of my past pages. So then I'm writing out goals with that same colored marker in some calligraphy style writing. I have goals on the left and then faves on the other side. So then I have a list of my favorites on the right page and then a list of my goals on the left page above the title for goals. I'm adding some drop shadows with a brown/tan marker, and then adding some bullet points for all of the different points that I'm going to put on for my goals and favorites page. And here's the final page. As you can see, I ended up outlining the flowers in a bit of a lighter yellowy orange color, and then added some of this really cute gold polka dot washi tape. And then we're going to move on to my habit tracker page. So I wrote this out with the same marker that I'm using for seriously every single page, and then after that I am going to make my habit tracker horizontal across the page, which is a little bit different. I'm using this light yellow color to put the days of the month. So it's 31 boxes across, and then however many habits I have going down. I'm using a Mildliner to add a drop shadow. I ended up finding this color, and it's definitely a Mildliner color that I don't use very often just because I don't like highlighting things with brown. So it works really well, and I think it matches this theme really nicely. I found some Pinterest photos, and I just played around with how I wanted them on the page, and then I glued them in and then added some washi tape. And I'm using the same washi tape that I've used this entire time, this really cute gold polka dot one. I think this is from Hobby Lobby. And after that, I outlined all of my habits in a fine liner. And then after that, I'm trying to do this like little design on the photo, which completely did not work. So I left it for now, and then later on I did it with a gold marker and it ended up working. So you'll see that when I show the final page. Here I am writing out all of the days of the month going horizontally across the page. So last month I started doing this little looking forward section. It's a section that I like to do every year at the beginning of a new bullet journal, but I decided to incorporate it into my monthly setups. So I just used this light yellow orangey color on the background and then wrote looking forward in some calligraphy, and then it's just a spot where I can journal for the month. And I also added these little cutouts of sunflowers, which kind of failed, but I mean they're glued on, so that's okay. Next, we're going to turn the page and work on the first weekly spread. So I'm just choosing some photos that I like, that I printed out, and gluing them in with a glue stick. And then I'm going to choose a different Tombow marker, shocking, to do the title of the page. I'm just writing out May. This one's a little bit more of a gold color. With that same brown Mildliner, I'm adding these floral designs kind of in the background of the page. So I'm just doing one on the left page and then also the right. I think this looks really cute and it matches the sunflower theme really nicely. And after that is finished, I'm going to take one of my Tombow markers and write all of the days of the week in just like some calligraphy. And here's the final look at my first weekly spread for May. I added some little floral doodles and some stickers, as well as wrote all of the dates with a black marker over top of the brown Mildliner, and that is the final page. So here's a quick little flip through of all of my May spreads. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I'm super excited to continue with this theme throughout the month. And I think that's it for now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.